Hello everyone, I'm Manfred and today I want to show you how to generate events and alarms in the JUMO Cloud and how to set up an alarm. I've prepared an example for you. Here we go. To begin with, I'll show you what I have in mind. Here you can see two signals of a Varitron 500 system in a dashboard of the JUMO Cloud. One is the status of an airlock door. This is a binary signal whose status is logged in the Entered Events widget. This is an event list. Now I close the door. The event is entered in the Entered Event widget. The view of the list is updated every 10 seconds. I then open the door. The Entered Events widget records when the signal was activated and deactivated. Now I also have an analog signal here, which triggers an alarm if 27 centigrades is exceeded. If the alarm is activated, it can be acknowledged in the Entered Event widget. When the temperature is exceeded, an email is sent and I can also acknowledge the alarm from the email. If the alarm is not acknowledged, an SMS is sent 5 minutes later. Outside working hours, the SMS is sent directly in the event of an alarm. So now I'll show you how to set up the event list and the alarming system. In my dashboard there are only the two signals and I create a new widget of the type Entered Events. I call the widget Event Log and I want to display the header. I can zoom the widget from the header later. I set the widget display to refresh every minute and only display the events of my tenant Station 1. I save the widget and also the complete dashboard. Event categories must now be defined, such as information or alarm. The alarming will be triggered later on the basis of these categories. I call the first category Event, and for alarm I set Information. I will use this category for the door straight away. I call the second category Alarm. Events in this category should be acknowledgeable and I set Major Alarm. I will use this event category later for the temperature exceeded event. I'll define an event in a moment. But first I need a condition for this. I configure this in the signals. I create a condition in the binary signal airlock door. I call the condition airlock door closed. The condition is fulfilled if the binary signal is 1. The condition is not fulfilled if the binary signal is not equal to 1. All conditions affecting the input signals require transmission to the data source. Now I can create the event. I call the event airlock door closed. In terms of the event category, this is an event. Different signals that lead to the event can be linked in the event editor. In my case, this is quite simple. I select the condition airlock door closed under signal condition. The event should then be entered in the event list when the signal changes. I'll try it out. Yes, the event is entered and it is possible to trace when it was activated and when it was deactivated. Now I would like to generate an alarm for the event list. The alarm should be activated when the temperature rises above 27 centigrades. It should be deactivated when the temperature falls below 26 centigrades. It should be possible to acknowledge the alarm. I go to the configuration of the signal and define the condition. I call the condition monitoring 27 centigrades. The condition for activation is an exceedance of 27 centigrades. The condition should be deactivated if the temperature is less than 26 centigrades. From the widget, I can later view the progression of the signal. The value for the interval serves as a basis. This has nothing to do with the alarm, but I'm only showing it here. Here too, I transfer the configuration to the data source again. Now I define the event for the temperature exceedance. I call it temperature exceeded, and the event category is an alarm. The event becomes active when the monitoring 27 centigrade condition is met. I go to the settings for the widget. I said that I want to manage the conditions in the widget, so I can change the limit values from the widget, for example. I also want to be able to call up the signal core from the widget. Now I can manage the condition in the widget, and the signal history is available to me, once in graphical form and as a table. The temperature now rises above 27 centigrades. And the alarm is activated. I can acknowledge the event at any time. In the Entered Events widget, I can see the status at any time and also when the event was activated and deactivated and when it was acknowledged. If necessary, I can attach a note to the event entry. Now I'll show you how to do this with the alarming. A message should be sent if the temperature is exceeded. This should be sent to my email address during normal business hours. If I do not acknowledge the alarm within 5 minutes, an SMS will be sent to a service employee. Outside business hours, only the SMS should be sent. I create the employees or the recipients who are to be alerted. I start with myself. I enter my email address as a contact option. Then I define the service employee and its cell phone number as a contact option. Now I continue with recipient groups. I create a group with the employees who are to be informed during normal working hours. I select the color green for this recipient group. It will then be displayed later this color in a planning calendar. The alarm cascade that I am now putting together is to be run through once. First, I should receive the message as an email. If I do not acknowledge the alarm within 5 minutes, the SMS is sent to the service employee. The cloud expects a delay value here, but this is not required for the function as the cascade is not run through several times. Now I define another recipient group that receives the alert outside of working hours. This is only the service employee who should receive the information via SMS once. Now I create an alarming plan. I call it Alarm Plan 1. In the alarm plan, for example, I can define recipient groups that should always be alerted. Then I don't have to work with a planning calendar. I can also set the recipient group here that is alerted if no other recipient group has been selected. For my small application, however, I only need to specify that an alarm should be triggered if an event in the alarm event category is active. I define which recipient group receives an alert and at what time in the alarm planning widget. For better overview, I will place this widget in its own dashboard tab. I will create the tab here. I'll also call the tab Alarm Planning. I move to the Dashboard tab. And create the Alarm Planning widget here. I also name the widget Alarm Planning. I specify that Alarm Plan 1 should be used. This means that an alarm is triggered for an event in the event category Alarm. Now I schedule recipient group during working hours from Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. To schedule the recipient group, I selected. I select the day and enter the time range. I would like to repeat this entry on a weekly basis. The entry should be used from Monday to Friday for the time being until the 30th of May. The recipient group is marked green in the calendar. Now I schedule the recipient group outside working hours from Monday to Friday from midnight to 7 a.m. Accordingly, the evening time. And the weekend days. The alarm is now set up and should work. Now there is a widget that can be used to track who has alerted at what time. I go to the first tab and select this widget. I name it and want to be able to zoom it later. The list should be updated every 10 seconds. Only the alarms that relate to alarm plan 1 should be documented. In the widget I can see when an alarm was triggered and who was alerted and when. It also logs who acknowledged the alarm. There is already an entry here due to the previous configuration. I checked the function. The temperature rises to over 27 centigrades. It is daytime and so the alarm is sent to the recipient groups during working hours. Who did the alarm message go to? I see here it went to Schleicher via email. I check my inbox and here I see the email that was sent from the cloud. From the email I have the option to acknowledging the alarm. I can see from the green tick that the alarm has been acknowledged. If there is no acknowledgement within 5 minutes, the cloud sends the SMS. I would like to show this. The temperature is currently below 26 centigrades and so the alarm is not active. Now the temperature rises again to over 27 centigrades and the email is sent again. After a time jump I can see that the SMS has been sent and this is what it looks like. The service employee has no way of acknowledging the alarm via SMS, but can do so later in the Entered Events widget. That's it for events and alarms in the JUMO Cloud for now. If you liked it, I'd be happy to receive a thumbs up. See you next time.